I got to see how the system is corrupt. I got to be put in prison while I was while I was on psychiatric evaluation in a mental institution, where they should not, a competent judge should not be able to put a default ruling against you while you're in hospital. You know what I mean? About Angelo Agrizi, how long have they been sick? Just to come testify at the commission or whatever. When they say they're sick, they give them time. They say, no, come back when you're ready. Or they just let them go and say, no, we'll deal with it later. The judge did not change anything. He charged me, sentenced me, default ruling, everything of the sort, had me sent to prison. I mean, I fought it for over a year and a half. You know what I mean? And then eventually I succumbed. I was like, I'd rather do the days instead of spending money on lawyers to try and fight this and get a rescission case done. Which put me in a very weird position, is that in this AKA matter, I'm the only person to be sentenced. I wasn't there. I did not mastermind anything. You understand? The person that got killed is my friend. The other person is a grootman of mine who mentored me when I was a kid as well. You know, both guys I know personally got killed. I'm a victim here. I'm the one who does time in prison. Umkwanazi is not brave. He's doing his job. And we should not be clapping for him for doing his job as a policeman. It just shows us how little faith we have in the justice system and in law enforcement in this country. We've got so little faith that we're clapping for Mkwanazi for just simply doing his job, saying, hey, there are criminals here, and then there are people that are preventing us from arresting the criminals. We're unable to do our job because of the political interference. That is all that he said, you know? And we don't know how Natim Tetwa died. We don't know how Natim Tetwa died. So as long as we don't know how Natim Tetwa died, we cannot say he's dead. I have not posted RIP Natim Tetwa. Why? How can I post RIP Natim Tetwa meanwhile he's having croissants or whatever, or driving up the Champs-Elysees, you know, or maybe he's at the Louvre. If they want to find out who's doing all the corruption, Edward Kisweta, please go to the Slay Queens. Slay Queens. In fact, I even said, I think some of these Slay Queens might work for Kisweta. Some of these Slay Queens...
Who's Kisweta?
Kisweta is the SARS commissioner.
Oh, the commissioner.
Yeah, because if I was SARS commissioner, I'd hire all the baddies. I'd hire all of them. So they know where you're spending your money. They know. I'd hire all the baddies. Yeah, you know, and it would be so cheap. I just give them 50,000.
The authority is back, but seemingly through all these social media streets, word is he will not be setting foot in the States very soon. We don't know. Yeah, but we're back. How you doing, the authority? I missed you.
Yeah, no, I miss you too. But don't fear not.
A little bit more.
I was asked to reapply for a new visa, so that's what I'm doing. So. I guess I'll have my appointment in less than 100 days for my new visa, which I was applying for anyway. So, yeah, that's the situation.
Can't do anything on Charlie Kirk.
I'm sure next. I'm up on reported.
Elon Musk.
No, for Charlie Kirk. I was just saying normal stuff about Charlie Kirk. I didn't insult him. I can't remember what the tweet was. I deleted
But you didn't insult him?
No, I wasn't insulting him at all. And I wasn't even making light of his death or anything of the sort. Like, the accusation is completely false. So I knew that the people were tagging me and whatever they're putting in, like they were attacking Reedy Club because
I remember. I watched the attack on Sis Reedy.
And then they tagged me in that. They put video clips of me as well while tagging her. So then I was wrapped up in all that stuff.
So you're collateral damage?
Collateral damage and also cover, because the media decided that I'm the one that must be blasted. The State Department didn't put my identity there, but then SABC News put my identity there.
They put you in the news?
SABC News posted that it was my tweet. So after the State Department tweeted, then SABC News said, hey, we've identified whose tweet it was. And the only reason they had to do that was so that I could be the story instead of Reedy. So you never saw anything about Reedy's visa being revoked or anything of the sort, you know what I mean? Or the fact
Has it been revoked, hers as well?
It's been revoked. She was given 72 hours to report to the embassy. and 14 days to vacate the country.
Yo!
So right now they're negotiating. So instead of her admitting that she's in a bit of a situation, she said, let me just keep it calm. And then the media said, or the journalist said, let's make NOTA the story. Let's do that. But my thing is that, do you understand what story you're making me? You're making me a story of someone who made fun of Charlie Kirk's death to right-wingers, the people who kill people, racist right-wingers. You're sending death threats to me as South African journalists. I'm just saying, maybe you guys don't have families. Maybe you were born out of the ground. I've got a family. I've got a mother. I've got a father. I've got siblings. You know what I mean? Those people care for me. If some racist right-winger AWB guy comes and kills me because he thinks I insulted Charlie Kirk, then what are you going to say? Because that's the narrative that you guys are pushing out there. You know what I mean? So to use me to cover for Ridi is got whatever. She works for Daily Maverick and everything else. She's got her resources. Me, I'm an individual. I don't work for any media company. Just the fact that you guys know me doesn't mean that I represent any other company. You know what I mean? I represent my family. That's it. Baloy is the only thing after me. You know what I mean? Not a company, not an institution. So it's really scary what they've done. You know what I mean? You know how manic the right-wingers are. Those are the guys that shoot up schools, shoot up churches, shoot up synagogues, shoot up gay bars. Those people, those are the people that you're saying, hey, here's your target. Here's his face. Put me on all the right-wing media. Put me on Newsmax. Put me on Fox News. Put me on all those right-wing media. Just because you want to save face for your colleague who's a journalist. And then you wonder why South Africans don't trust journalists. Because journalists would get someone killed just so they can cover their own asses. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's just the unfortunate part of what was happening. But, you know, I'm a big boy, so... you know, I don't mind being made a sacrificial lamb as well. It's one of those things that I'll have to take. But I do wish Osiridi the best because, I mean, her situation is different. I mean, I don't have kids. I don't have a family. You know, she's in the States with her husband, her kids. They're in school. You know, if mom now needs to lose her visa, what's going to happen with mom? Are we still going to be... School just started now in August. It's the new school year. You know what I mean? They're only supposed to go on winter break in December. You know what I mean? Spring break at the end of February. You know what I mean? And then they continue the school year until summertime, until the end of June. So, you know, that could be very disruptive to her family. So I don't know why she was tweeting the stuff that she was tweeting. Because even in those tweets, I commented on one of her tweets and I said, please don't be the one to do this. You know what I mean? Because it's irresponsible. As a mother, as someone who's got children, has got a family, you know that the Trump administration is being pulled by the nose by Netanyahu. You're a South African, so you already have a target on your back. South Africa is part of BRICS, so you already have another target on your back. And
South Africa took Israel to the ICJ.
We're
not the best friends.
We're not the best friends. You know what I mean?
Right now.
So for me, I know that I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. There's nothing that an American judge, a competent American judge, can read and say, this guy is making fun of Charlie Kirk's death. This guy was pointing out that before Charlie Kirk's death, black people were being attacked because a Ukrainian refugee was killed on a train. They were being attacked. And then clips of Charlie Kirk were being posted up of Charlie Kirk talking about black communities and how they're degenerate and all these things and blaming black people for their condition, knowing that black people did not create the conditions they're in. You know, they've been subjugated and all that stuff. These are things that we've been explaining. And then Charlie Kirk's death happened. And then people are like, oh, why are people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death? And I told even guys like Ronaldo, I was like, I hear what you're saying, Ronaldo. I don't like people celebrating people's death. I would never wish death upon someone. But the thing is that I can't condemn them saying that because they feel some way about Charlie Kirk and they've got free speech. And Charlie Kirk said he was a free speech absolutist. That's what he went on campuses and said. He went on to different campuses with people who opposed him, debated them, exchanged ideas. It just so happened that eventually he was killed doing the thing that he loved. But I don't think now that he's no longer around, he would want us to censor people. And that's what the Trump administration has responded by doing. They've responded by doing everything that Charlie Kirk wouldn't have wanted. They've given him a Congressional Medal of Freedom, but he's never been in combat. He's never been in the U.S. Army or anything else. They've given him the same medals that they give to, you know, Heroes of War. No, Heroes of War. Heroes of War. Well, it's an equivalent. It's a civilian equivalent to a Medal of Honor. So it's the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But I don't think he's done enough to earn that. He died at 31. He should have turned 32 this week. You know what I mean? Should have. He's younger than me. In Duana game. And the movement that he led is being run by other people now. Other people are now in charge.
Turning Point USA, right?
So you can see
have
that.
Have you been following Candace Owens ever since his death?
Always.
Have you been hearing what she's been saying about his death?
I know. I just haven't been commenting.
Are you afraid to speak about it?
No. I just haven't been...
Based on your situation with your American visa? No,
I've been posting about it.
Okay.
I've been posting... Pella, I found out about the situation of the American visa on the 9th of October. The decision was made on the 29th of September. On the 30th of September, a judge ruled that these visa revocations, especially the ones for the students who were protesting against Israel on campuses, are illegal. So they are going to be overturned. So if your visa has been revoked and everything else because of the Charlie Kirk thing, don't worry. The judges in the US don't just do what Trump says they must do. But unfortunately, it's a costly process. So you'll need lawyers. You'll need a representation. Fortunately for me, I've got 3 lawyers on this. So I've got my immigration lawyer who's dealing with my application for my visa. I've got a defamation lawyer who's dealing with the fact that my information was published online and then inciting violence against me, death threats, and etc., 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 and also with the reputational damage that it's done to paint me as a person who wishes death upon people. You know what I mean? My mother doesn't want to read that when she opens up her newspaper. You know what I mean? She didn't raise me like that, and it's a lie, because I would never do something like that. You know what I mean? And the third lawyer is the one that's going to basically challenge the actual revocation, to have it rescinded, because although I'm applying, when you do apply, there's a point in the form that says, has your visa ever been revoked? If so, for what reasons? So that legal action to have the decision rescinded is so that if there's any challenges to my new visa application, that process will be done, and once it's rescinded, my new visa application will have no hindrances. Yeah, so it's a long process, but I was only planning to travel on the 19th of February next year.
But you've got plans in the US, and there's big things that you've been cooking that side.
Yeah, there's lots of big things.
This is obviously disturbing some of your growth plans in business.
It's a challenge. It's a hurdle, because my plans in business, I already postponed them. I've been postponing them for a long time, so I've already postponed them to next year. But I do have a show or a festival. Excuse me. Gesundheit. I do have a festival that I'm going to. Sorry, if you need something to wipe. So I do have a festival that I'm going to in Washington, D.C., and then I'm also going to spring break in Florida, in Miami. Yeah, my business partner just got his green card.
Nice.
So, yeah. And, yeah. So, Mina, out of everyone, I'm not worried. I've got means, guys. You know what I mean? I guess I'm on the right side of the aisle in terms of who you support in the current administration in America. So, I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to sort out my situation. And I'm also sure that this thing was just a scare tactic to scare everyone. So let's get a couple guys, 6, 7, 8 people. State Department posts out that if you say anything about Charlie Kirk, if you say anything, we'll revoke your visas. But all the while, the court action from all the visa revocation that they've already done are being overturned and challenged. And they're not winning their appeals in that regard. So they've got their own fight that they're fighting within the United States. But I think the message has been heard loud and clear. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, okay, scared. You know what I mean? I saw on some people's comments, I don't know what was happening. And then someone said, hey, I wanted to comment, but I might need a US visa. Hey, phela ibafana qualifyile bafethu. Hey, manje siyoncenga eCanada thina or eMexico thina. So gcoka ama sombrero. So ibukela nabo Jose.
Next door.
Next door. So lama taco thina.
No, at least I'm glad that you're not in a bad state. I thought you you'd be miserable. I thought you'd
Yeah.
be, because I know some of the things you were telling me about, you know, that
The
that
plans,
are upcoming,
yeah.
the plans in business.
Yeah. No. I mean, I keep a positive mind.
Nice
one. My mother sent me a long prayer. I think it was a 30-minute prayer.
My mom does that a lot too.
Yeah, so my mother will just do that. She call me. She's like, yo, my son, I haven't spoken to you in a while. You know what I mean? Because you know how mothers are. Your mother will call you, and then she'll remind you of all the stresses,
And
isn't
then
it?
she'll go on and on. Yeah. And then she'll repeat herself over and over. Yeah.
Yes, you only my phone. At least the time a man will tell you, Papa, I've got stress. You're like, okay, I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a man. He's also got stress. You understand?
Go on and on. Man. I can relate.
You understand what I'm saying? So only my phone. I'm like, oh, now she's gonna be stressing me about this thing. She's like, no. I sent you a spiritual message. Yeah, your father's leaving. He's got a meeting in Rivonia. I'm just about to make breakfast.
No, voice note
Never.
Okay.
Old Lam is an iPhone old lady, so now she understands. Yeah, okay, let's keep it short. She's up to date with the latest stuff. But yeah, that's what happened. But all the while, I think that within this whole entire, I guess, controversy, we've actually forgotten, which I was trying to remind people. That's why I released a statement and an apology, that we suffer from higher levels of political violence in the United States. What we saw happen to Charlie Kirk happens to councillors, happens to officials, happened to our boy.
And that's why there was that PKTT.
You understand what I'm saying? So, these are the things that we're dealing with. So, the one country that knows what happens with political violence is South Africa. You know what I mean? And America is not helping themselves by now radicalizing people, by banning people and all these things. They're not making themselves seem like they're the friend of the world, especially at a point where they're in decline in terms of their supremacy. Their influence in the rest of the world is waning bit by bit, and they're not making it good for themselves. So yeah, that's the challenge. But other than that, I'm just happy that Mexico Canada.
Congratulations. Mexico. Maybe starting a disc or starting a politic
politic le disc.
Dala singaring into ezipaya.
Yeah, politic le
starting a politic.
Okay.
Madlanga Commission, Parliament Ad Hoc Committee, there's been raids, there's been many names passed around in the media, in the headlines, all of while you and I, the Hustlers Corner, we haven't been posting. So there's so much to talk about. Let's talk about the latest.
Zonke lezinto sizikhulumile on that.
Sizikhulume before zenzeka.
All of them. All of them. Whether the cops are corrupt and everything else. So let me take you through this Sibia and Mkwanazi situation, especially where it relates to the AKA case, because that's something that I know about. Ne?
By the way, guys, NOTA is vindicated because now we heard Mkwanazi say it. When the whole country was watching. Remember, you said the same thing last year.
Yeah.
And everybody was saying, you are crazy, you are thin, you are better. And Obama Kwanas went and said that, and it's like the exact same thing that you had said a year before.
Ngitin, man. Like, I buffet. So the situation is, Usibia was pushing for arrest to be made, ne?
Yeah.
And Utasbura will know because he came to visit me in the States. When I still couldn't come back. And he knows, I told him straight up, like, until Babo pays someone, I can't come back. But I don't know what's happening. Ekas. You know what I mean? So when I came back, I didn't even announce, I didn't even let you know that I was back, ne?
No, I didn't know.
I was back maybe for a couple of...
Cape Town.
Yeah, exactly. So when I came back, even when I came back, I even told I was with Malcolm X, the Malcolm X, the one who was outside the house.
The man, sure.
Yeah, Malcolm X. So I was with Malcolm X. So I had to tell Malcolm X, please. You can post next week.
Not yet.
No, not yet. I don't want anyone to know that, I'm chilling in Cocoon. You know what I mean? Cocoon's got very nice food. The kitchen is very good.
Who owns Cocoon? Is it
don't
Stefan?
I think, no, Okio. Stefan just bought Okio.
Oh, okay.
It's now part of the Louis Group drama. What's the one in Cape Town?
Yeah.
But that one closed actually. Coco.
Yeah, Coco. Yeah.
It's Louis, Montana, drama, and another club.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Opera. Yeah,
Okay.
another restaurant. So, with that matter, nah, I was getting intelligence from sources close to my family, you know, and the strategy there was that they needed to arrest one of the people that was with the gunman or that arranged everything, right? Then find
Are we
out.
talking about the AKA murder case?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they made that arrest in December, like early December. They made that arrest. They arrested 2 guys, right? And one of them was involved. The other one wasn't really involved. But they were also arrested for other crimes that they'd committed. So they took those guys in, whatever, and then they managed to solicit a confession from
Do you
those
mean
guys.
the arrest they had made in Cape Town?
No. Yes, well, that was the first arrest.
Yeah.
Yes, that which they denied at first. Remember, they denied that arrest, and that arrest, remember, it happened while I was in Paul. And I said, hey, Baya Sondel. Then I called you and I said, I'm gonna come to Jozi, and then immediately after we recorded, I was on the next flight to America. As soon as we said cut, I went back home. I picked up my bags and got the plane, because that's how close they were coming to me. Imagine. So
that thing was a true story.
Yes.
Your life was in
yes,
danger.
it was in danger. You must remember that Scorpio Sia was calling me on my phone, trying to track me down. He tracked down my car. I parked my car at KEKETSO's place, because KEKETSO is from the east. Madlanga said Jet Park, so it's close to the airport. And I didn't know how long I was going to be gone. So I called him on my way to the airport. Airport. Look, land. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know where to park. I didn't know if I'm staying. But you can't just leave your airport. I mean, your car at airport, and you know.
We're over 200,000.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why you see those cars at the airport parked and they've got dust on them. It's because niggas can't pay.
The bill is even more than the price of the car.
You understand what I'm saying? So they might as well sell the car and get the bill for the parking. So already I knew that he was tracking me down. Then youngster CPT's manager,
Ubano Scorpio Sia.
brother KO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was calling me, hey, what, making threats, hey, whatever. When I see you, ini, you know what I mean? So I kept him on the line for as long as possible, because I also wanted to have my people tracking, because I know that my phone calls are monitored, right, by intelligence services and police and everything else. I've been tracked for many years, actually, but I don't mind. You know what I mean? But if you're going to send me nudes, the police have them. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If they leak, it's not me. Because I was tracking him as well, and I was in a very secure place. I was in a farm that's very isolated. You know what I mean? Any car that's coming in from however many kilometers, I can see it all the way coming. You won't be going to be able to come to me without me seeing you approaching. And also, you won't going to be able to get through to me without getting through to all the people that run the streets approaching me. And that's why youngster CPT, the manager, called me. Because the day before they made that arrest, right, he called us. And he said, hey, there's people that's been asking around trying to find NOTA. So he called my friend at the house where I was hiding. He called him directly. Ipuno. He's an Afrikaner, my Afrikaner friend. My Afrikaner friend. You know, I was there babysitting his 3 kids. You know what I mean? And he just had a newborn daughter as well. You know, and every time he has a new child, I always go to visit the children. Yeah, that's when the threat became close. I can't be in danger at my friend's house with his wife and kids there. And his mother also, you know what I mean? So I had to skip and move. And, you know, I was very thankful to Youngster and his people. But the next day I heard that the arrests were made. So I was like, okay, clean. They got them before they could get to me. But then they hadn't really arrested the guys that were still involved in KZN. Because those guys that they arrested were the guys that helped them locate the cars and locate the guy that was arranging the weapons that they were going to use, right? So now I'm in the States waiting for other arrests to be made. While I'm in Florida, in Miami, Art Deco, it's fun. I get a call from Westville Prison. It says, yo, a couple of days ago, guys arrived here. Don't ask me how I've got people that are in prison. You know, my family, a lot of us have been through the prison system. You understand? You know. Ukbesuka is not a foreign concept to us. So when I got that call, I needed to verify that that information is true. So I called the people that I've got from intelligence services and people that know the correctional services, and then found out, okay, were these people arrested? Okay, clean. How long have they been in? Okay, cool. And then they're like, yep, they just released them on bail. For some reason. So I was like, now I didn't know what the reason was that these guys have been released on bail. But I knew that they were arrested and that the confession has been made. So I had to take a gamble. I was like, okay, they've made the confession, the full and I got the full confession that they made. So I know that, okay, fine. They plugged all the holes. They connected everyone except for the final step of the mastermind. But that is obvious because once you follow the money, you can get down to that. And I made the decision to come back home because, my dad was still going through the last couple of months of his chemo treatment and I hadn't seen him and I didn't want to be away from home. And I also didn't want to apply for asylum. That would have had me stuck in the States for 3 years. So I came back home in December and I knew that the guys were out. And then I stayed in Cape Town because I was waiting for more and more updates. Hey, now I'm staying in Cape Town for too long now. I'm waiting. Is it February? I know. Josie. Clearly the block is too hot. They're not going to try anything now. And then the very next month, that's when the rest of the arrests were made, like all of them together. And then I found out why they made that first arrest. So I didn't know why they made that first arrest the way they did, and then they released the guy. So the way they got that confession and the evidence, that's inadmissible in court. So they cannot use that evidence, but they could use the confession to find other evidence that is concrete, that is not circumstantial evidence. So they got that. They also needed to use this guy as a mole to find the other guys. So they let him out. They tracked his phone. They told him use this phone, whatever. And then the guy went to Swaziland where his other homies were hiding, and then he used the phone just like it's normal. And he knew that he was going to get arrested, and he was getting his whole entire crew arrested. And he waited there and pretended that nothing was happening, and they arrested all of them. And they arrested the guys in KZN as well, and that's how they were able to round them up. So that matter was very, very sensitive. If you hear how sensitive it is, you understand why Umkhwanazi did not want to just rush and arrest. So Usibia, when they made that first arrest, wanted them to rush and arrest and start trial and everything else. The other guys would have been able to get away. So Umkhwanazi held back a lot of information. And he was holding back information that KEKETSO would have shared. Because KEKETSO was sharing all the information. I think he did with your younger sister, Faith. He did an interview and he spoke, yes, and this is the one who's responsible, this is the one who's responsible. He was spreading a lot of details. So you can see that Umkhwanazi is not going to trust him with that information because he's going to compromise the investigation. You know what I mean? So that was the issue that Umkhwanazi and Sibia had, with the big issue. And Usibia was, speaking about that very vociferously when he was cornered by the media after the 6th of July announcement. Usibia is a guy who's been in the police force for 37 years, which means he started in the police force. 37 years is 1988. 1988. During apartheid. There's no other way. You are an apartheid policeman. Sibia is an apartheid policeman. Umkhwanazi is a 2000, so to speak, in terms of the way he can speak. You know what I mean? He's got the English bundles. So although he's not the most senior guy, yes, he's got the English bundles. It's like me. It's like me. I speak for my brothers
because better than us.
Because I've got the English bundles, which means it's my job to speak for my brothers that don't have the English bundles to be credible or believable in this Anglo-centric world. You know what I mean? And so with the English bundles that Umkhwanazi had, he could spread the message. And the message is such a message that is so unbelievable. You needed the most credible person to spread it. Had Masumula been the one to give us that message, we wouldn't have believed him. We would have never believed him. We're like, this guy's covering his own tracks. It's those Louis Vuitton bags that he accepted, or whatever the case may be. Whatever, it's something frivolous like Louis Vuitton bags or whatever. For a guy who gets paid over 2 million rand a year, come on. What's a Louis Vuitton bag? You know what I mean? So the situation between all of these policing agencies, the judicial system, and the media right now is something I got to face myself personally. I got to see how the system is corrupt. I got to be put in prison while I was while I was on psychiatric evaluation in a mental institution, where they should not, a competent judge, should not be able to put a default ruling against you while you're in hospital. You know what I mean? About Angelo Agrizi, how long have they been sick? Just to come testify at the commission or whatever. When they say they're sick, they give them time. They say, no, come back when you're ready. Or they just let them go and say, no, we'll deal with it later. The judge did not change anything. He charged me, sentenced me, default ruling, everything of the sort, had me sent to prison. I mean, I fought it for over a year and a half. You know what I mean? And then eventually I succumbed. I was like, I'd rather do the days instead of spending money on lawyers to try and fight this and get a rescission case done. Which put me in a very weird position, is that in this AKA matter, I'm the only person to be sentenced. I wasn't there. I did not mastermind anything. You understand? The person that got killed is my friend. The other person is a grootman of mine who mentored me when I was a kid as well. You know, both guys I know personally got killed. I'm a victim here. I'm the one who does time in prison. You know, very strange things are happening. That's how corrupt the judicial system is. You know, when I had my own, controversy, I was scared. I was scared knowing I'm innocent. I was scared that someone, though, who's an enemy of mine might be able to pay a prosecutor to put me on trial for sexual assault or whatever. Whether I'm found not guilty is irrelevant. The mere fact that I'll be on a trial, I'll be shown in the media, this will be every week or whatever. As the trial gets updated, this is the image that's been painted on me. My digital footprint is now being associated with an R word that I don't like, I could see that the whole entire system is corrupt. When I saw the media, the way in which they were covering me, I could see that the whole entire system is corrupt. You know what I mean? The journalists will ask you questions. They'll ask you 18 questions. They'll pick 3 of the answers and they won't even take the full answer. They'll take a snippet of your answer and then use that as a quote to make an article that is completely counter to the narrative that you're trying to portray by giving them answers in the first place. And I thought to myself, wow, Umkhwanazi is not brave. He's doing his job. And we should not be clapping for him for doing his job as a policeman. It just shows us how little faith we have in the justice system and in law enforcement in this country. We've got so little faith that we're clapping for Mkhwanazi for just simply doing his job, saying, hey, there are criminals here, and then there are people that are preventing us from arresting the criminals. We are unable to do our job because of the political interference. That is all that he said, And having personally experienced it, and seen it and hoped that this would bring down all these people in our government that are keeping this whole entire thing going. I mean, this corruption wave, this kingpin cartel that runs this country is empowered by the leadership, by the presidency. You know what I mean? People in the presidency have got their own scandals. Intelligence is inside the presidency. All of these things the president should know. You've got intelligence inside your office, but you don't even know your family members. Just imagine that. You've got everyone's WhatsApps. You've even got you've even got all our view answers. You've got everyone's view answers. Our view answers, you've got it. Now you can view it as many times as you want, but you don't know your nephew. You understand what I'm saying? It's shocking. And then your neighbors are saying, no, but you're always at your nephew's house. We see you all the time. And we know it's you because there's blue lights all around. We know it's you because our gates can't be opened when you're walking. Can't let our dogs out because the big dog is now on the street, And if you have dogs, you know that when a big dog is on the street and then you have to close your gate so that the other dogs don't fight. And I'm saying it like that. Just in case I get misquoted as comparing humans to dogs. But metaphorically speaking, the cat is out the bag. The cat is in jail, the big cat, but the cat is out the bag. And our political parties will never recover from this, especially the GNU. All of them are implicated. They're implicated. We are all looking at Sibia and thinking, damn, what a dirty cop. Right? We're thinking, damn, when he goes into parliament, no, this guy, after they've smeared him like this, he's even telling us that, no, please arrest me during the day. I mean, if you're saying things like, please arrest me as a cop, you must be a dirty cop. If you're expecting to be arrested, I'm just saying, like, Ipo is elite. No, pain. Only a madman does that. Arrest me, dog. Sibia said, arrest me, dog, as a policeman. Yeah, please do it during the day. Ngoba ningangibulala. Ngiyabulalana phela nina. Hey. A policeman is saying his fellow colleagues, his juniors. How? Hey, I'm just, like, the things that we're hearing in these interviews, like as South Africans, are we not shocked? Like, hold on, guys. These are policemen talking. This is a deputy commissioner of police. He's second in command of the police. And he's saying these things. You know what I mean? He's outside his big compound and you're like, yo, I'm a police, huh? How? Why were we donating money to Mkwanas if they live like this? You know what I mean? I mean, we saw a picture of Mkwanas' house when the security agent is much smaller, though. That house was so long that Ibonda fana alpelel frame. Like, when the camera angle, that angle was like a side angle. They went like in front of the gate. You could see the gate and then you could see Ibonda. Like, Ibonda stretches out of the picture. When you stand up outside your house and shoot this tomb and see if Ibonda stretches outside of the frame. No ways. We don't live in houses like that, compounds like that. That's our police commissioner. We hear that, no, we don't pay cops enough. That's why they're asking for cold drink. There's no ways. His lawn, that lawn, the only person who's got a bigger lawn than that is Sizwe Only. Only. And Sizwe's is greener. In fact, he needs those Rainbird 5000s. Yeah, those are the sprinklers that Usizo's got. He's got 400 of them, apparently. He needs those Rainbird 5000s to keep his grass green if he ends up going to jail. You know what I mean? Because he won't be able to water it then. Sbia, just everything about him just screams that dirty cop. Him getting security clearance from another implicated dirty cop, burning Tlemeza now, opening charges against Robert McBride. All of those things at the same Hawks where CBI used to work. All of these things are happening as he's giving testimony. There's so many bombs dropping. Like, bombs are dropping. Like, in just one testimony, each question that is answered is a headline, it's an article. It's a Sunday Times, Sunday World, Sunday Tribune, Mercury. You understand when it's on all of them? Dispatch. It's on all of, that story that's on Mercury. It's everywhere in Mzansi. Agas. You know what I mean? Everywhere in Mzansi, that story is there. Everything he's saying is a big headline. And we're just listening and we're shocked. We're just grabbing our popcorn. It's like we're watching podcast and chill. We're waiting for the puns. Except it's not Sol Penduka. You know what I mean? It's parliamentarians. It's MPs. Not SPs. Sorry. I caught that midway myself. So, I watched his testimony and I said, okay, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. And all I could hear was a criminal. That's all I could hear. You know what I mean? And I could understand why Mkhwanazi blocked him. You understand? Because now, if there was a long trail of messages between them, you don't know what he might send you on your phone that might be implicating. Now you've got certain data on your phone that might implicate you in things that you weren't supposed to, because he's head of crime intelligence from a deputy national commissioner position. So he's part of the intelligence and crime intelligence. He's not part of counterintelligence, because counterintelligence actually investigates the police themselves. So, he could send Mkhwanazi some classified information that he's not supposed to have. All of a sudden, he causes a reason for Mkhwanazi's phone to be searched. Then they find that information that he's not supposed to have, and then that's a case. Same way that whole entire Dumisani Khumalo case is now being made into a big corruption thing because someone got a job that they say that they weren't supposed to get. It's an HR thing. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a corruption thing. It should be a misconduct thing, disciplinary hearing. Let's sort it out within the police. You know what I mean? Let Masemola have a ruling, suspend him, or whatever the case may be, demote him, find someone else to put in crime intelligence. But it shouldn't be something where we've got now, 4 of our top cops standing in the dock, standing in the dock while the criminals are watching on TV, It's a very sad state, but I'm glad all of this stuff is coming out when the country is at the stage that it's at. And look, man, I know a lot of people might have said a lot of things. Hey, NOTA's crazy, whatever. Majority of people actually understand the truth and believe it. And they come to me face to face each and every single day. I get that. So I'm not perturbed by the reputation because I know the character still stands strong and people are able to respond to that. I have got an advantage just like Umkhwanazi and everybody else who's got English bundles. Abo Robert Marawa, Abo Sizwe Dlomo, Sonke, Abo Scoop Makatini, all of us with English bundles. Bafethu, that's our privilege as Abo Taki. There's some of us Takis that have got the English bundles, right? And our job as the guys with the English bundles is to ensure that our brothers without the English bundles are not subjugated just because they don't have English bundles. We need to speak on their behalf, And I'm glad that Umkhwanazi spoke on behalf of Masemola, so that we could actually get to the bottom of the rot with the cops. And Usbia was succeeded, I guess, in the dock there at the ad hoc committee by Minister Senzo Mchunu, the source of all this mess. Well, Umkhwanazi says the source of all this mess is the Polokwane conference in 2007, but, the source of the controversy was Senzo Mchunu disbanding the political killings task team. And his answers were also not convincing. I mean, as we're recording this, right now it's the second day of testimony right now, where he's answering to parliamentarians. So some of you are watching us as we speak and taking a little break from the committee. But I think they should be on a break now. They usually take a break around about 12, ne? Lunch. Okay, so yeah, they should still be on a break. You'll go back, and then when you go back, just fast forward so you can catch up and you don't miss a thing, and you'll be able to hear everything. The Madlanga Commission and the ad hoc committee happening at the same time is a blessing in disguise.
Why?
Because they're comparing notes. Although Uchuchu doesn't want them to be comparing notes, doesn't want them to be subjugating one another, however the case may be, they are assisting one another. It's like a 2-parent household. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know that you start by asking your dad. Ask your dad so that he can say no. And then after your dad says no, yakhala. And then your mother does what she does. And you wake up in the morning and then unemali yokhera.
Uma uledu kuringela.
Uma uledi yazi naba hey bayamogola labantu. So the Madlanga Commission is like how can I say, is the Madlanga Commission is your mom. So your mom listens to your story and everything else, and then she goes to your dad and then and then convinces your dad. So it's like the 2-parent household type of system.
But which one is more important? The ad hoc committee, right?
You can't be born without
That's
both.
parliament,
You
right?
can't be born without both parents. You can't be born without both parents. Without both of them, nothing is good. One of them, not good. Both of them, very important. Why? Because we are hearing different levels of evidence, and that evidence then gets to be questioned in Parliament. And you cannot mislead Parliament. That is a crime. So although you can say whatever you want in the Madlanga Commission and it can't be used against you, once you now have evidence that's in the Madlanga Commission, that parliamentary committee is going to say, hold on, we still want to ask you about this stuff. And then when you speak in Parliament, you can't mislead Parliament. You can't perjure yourself then. You need to speak under oath, which is a completely different story from what the ad hoc committee is doing. Another thing is that the president is put in by Parliament. He accounts to Parliament. The fact that the Madlanga Commission accounts to the president is a conflict of interest. He's implicated. They said the entire criminal justice system is implicated by political interference. All of those people that can do political interference only have delegated executive authority. He is the executive authority. When they say executive authority, it means the president. That is it. Why? He's the only one that has got executive authority. That executive authority is given to him by Parliament. Parliament is the only body that can hold the president accountable. So the Madlanga Commission, right, no matter what the report says, Cyril will not hold himself accountable, but Parliament can hold him accountable. And whatever the report says, another ad hoc committee could be done to hold him accountable. You could have a motion of no confidence, all of those things. So Parliament is very important in this process. So although, we've been talking about how the money is being wasted and everything else, guys, let them spend as much money as possible. The more money they spend on these commissions, the less money they'll have for that national dialogue that we don't need. That is it. That is it. And this commission is the dialogue that we need. Because we are not the criminals, we're the citizens. We're not the nunus. We're not the nunus. No. No. Singamanunu Tina. Imagine my mother's watching that on her YouTube in her bed, and then she's being told that. Imagine. Cabanga. That's good. Your mother was watching that. Imagine. Like seriously. Our parents are nunus as well. Because it's not saying you young kids or whatever. Because usually they're talking about young people, bias true as young people. We take that because older people can say whatever they need to say. So they're disciplining us. But now he's saying South Africans as a whole, as an old man like that. And in front of old people, at a funeral. For a person who held the position, your predecessor. The person who held the Ministry of Police before you held it. So you should be, and you are also someone who worked in the police force at some point as well. You know what I mean? So you've been on the operation side, you've been on the policy side. You should know. You've known what it is to be a commissioner. You know what it is to be a minister. You've done both things. Why are you speaking things like that at a funeral? Especially when we don't know how the man died. You know? We don't know how Natim Tetwa died. We don't know how Natim Tetwa died. So as long as we don't know how Natim Tetwa died, we cannot say he's dead. I have not posted RIP Natim Tetwa. Why? How can I post RIP Natim Tetwa meanwhile he's having croissants or whatever, or driving up the Champs-Élysées, or maybe he's at the Louvre. We know Diana's dead, Princess Diana. We saw the car wreckage, we saw everything. We know that was when 1997. I was still a little kid. I was a bambino. You know what I mean? I was a little version of William and Harry. I was William because I'm the older brother. My younger brother's 2 years younger than me. He was Harry. We were sitting there, we were watching with our mother, seeing those boys walking behind their mother's coffin. The sadness in our hearts. That story captivated our minds. That's why we were obsessed about it. That's why we watched all the documentaries, everything behind the scenes. In the days that Diana died, we were seeing pictures of the bridge. We were seeing pictures of the other car. That was all in the news, in CNN, BBC, or all the news channels. If you watched international news channels back then, it was everywhere. We haven't seen one picture with tape cordoned off with the police, gendarmes. Nothing at all. France. 1997 was how many years ago? What? 28? 18 years ago?
It's a lot of years ago, bro.
28.
1997 is more than
28.
Oh, it's 28, yeah, 28.
28 years.
28 years ago, yeah.
28 years ago.
Yeah.
They had pictures. They didn't even have digital cameras. We still had Fuji film. You understand what I'm saying? You still needed to go and develop your pictures there. You need to go to Golden Walk. Mostly East. More training here, Golden Walk. You develop your photos. Kibeli train here first. You understand what I'm saying, Pela? That was the central station. You know what I mean? That's the main central station. No, I didn't write the Gado, but I went to school with friends that it did, so I knew the life. You know what I mean? When you're doing assignments together, you want to develop photos, all those types of things. You know what I mean? So I can relate to it, but I understand it. That's what we used to do back in the day. We used to develop our photos. You know what I mean? So those people went into the dark room, developed photos of Diana. Within a week, they were in the news. How long has it been since the news of Natim Tetwa's disappearance? Been how many weeks? In fact, before we even get a picture of where his body landed, we see a picture of the funeral after party where they're drinking champagne. Epsu, Gapuz. Ama after tears aphela ngabo ma 6. The after tears. Le genge yenu. Mangiti le genge yenu. I'm acting as if I'm my mother when she's talking about us. Le genge yenu. Hey, nienzele le ekten. The after tears yenu. You know, you remember we used to do that. Yeah, nama happy wenu. Nienzele le. Yeah, boy. Nama happy. Pela, she must always mention the happy because she must mention nama happy. But I'm happy. So, Shisha, have you seen it at a funeral? Yes. No. Oh, my 2000. My 2000. Just so you know, ne, all this shisha and habli and everything else, just know that Tina, on our backs, we've got iswas for you to be able to hold habli in front of your grandmother today. You must understand that. The same way.
Latina, we couldn't. I know
you understand what I'm saying? Couldn't. The same way the students of 76 threw stones for us to be speaking English. Instead of doing nasur and verbetering and whatever else we had to do, trappa van vergelijking. Yeah. You know what I mean? You understand? Tina besulela mahapli. So enjoy your happily. Just know that who fought for it. My 90s. It was us that fought for it. Ne? So please respect us. Basbiza ma 1K. Can you imagine that? Is that the I'm a 1K. Like 1K. I'm a 1K. Not even I'm a 19. You know what I mean? You know, we're from the 20th century, guys. Us. You know, you guys are 21st century kids, but you know, please respect us. We fought for the hubdies that you guys have. These celebrations that you see at the funeral and after parties, people diving for food. Now, I'm not going to condemn the people that are running for food because our government steals money. So when people see an opportunity for them to get a meal and they don't have to cook that day, they don't have to use the last zamban. Yes, you know, selling a last zamban. Selling a last zamban. And in zamban, you can't cut it in half. You know, ulshi at everything. So, you know, once you're on your last zamban, melel pore. You understand what I'm saying? So people are saving their last money. They're like, no, there's a funeral nyana there. And also that fence. So either way. You know what I mean? Yeah. They have it's theirs. It's government money. It's a state funeral. Everyone must eat. But the savagery is because they're being disrespected. They're giving food in plastics and they're just stacked there and saying, okay, guys, take. So obviously it's going to be disorderly because people don't know who's going to take what for who. People don't want it to run out. So it's disorderly. So they make us look like we're some sort of animals scavenging over food. But that's because, bro, we don't believe the ambassador is dead. So yes, you want us to pretend that we're in funeral mode. In our minds, we're like, hold on. We'll wait and see on this one. We understand you're having this funeral. We'll observe. We understand your speeches. But I'm listening to Bucks. And Bucks is my guy. You know what I mean? I can't wait to have him here. He's been dodging us. I don't know why. No, I know he wants.
The same day I was with him at the salon last week Sunday.
Yeah.
He said he'll come.
Yeah, please.
Because I was like, man, like we've been wanting you.
Yeah, we need him. No, we need him. But Bucks, I mean, you saw when Keenan passed away. Bucks was outside the house. He spoke, and you could feel from how he's speaking that obviously we saw the CCTV camera, but you know what I mean? The way Bucks was speaking, he's not speaking like he's speaking about a comrade of his who also held the same ministry that he once held. He was also Minister of Police at some point in time. You know what I mean? He's not speaking like a comrade of his has really passed away. He's not speaking as if he's lost one member. He's the Secretary General. He monitors the membership list. He's the one that tells us, no, Brown Mokotsi is not a member. Oh, Brown Mokotsi's membership finished last year, October. Oh, Brown Mokotsi's membership is supposed to expire in 2024. He's lying when he says it's 2025. He's not a member. I'm the Secretary General. Membership belongs to me. All right? He's not looking like he's just lost a member. And a very powerful member. I mean, how many strong fingers does the ANC have left in KZN? Can they afford a Natim Tata dying? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? He's the youngest of the prominent figures from the KZN who's got that level of experience within governance. You know what I mean? He's at one of the top G7 countries as an ambassador. One of our biggest trading partners in Europe. You know what I mean? The colonizer of the biggest part of Africa. All of those things. You know? the owners of DSTV now, France, right? So he must have assisted in those deals as well. Those are big deals that have just happened under his watch. Metsipe also holding on to CAF, making sure that the CAF rights are also protected. The whole entire hodgepodge that they're mixing up there. We can't just allow ourselves to be told that, no, some policemen went from the Western Cape to go and investigate. No, we don't want Western Cape policemen. We want Mkhwanazi. Only Mkhwanazi. We don't want anybody else. We want Mkhwanazi to go to France and tell us with his English bundles what actually happened. You don't want to hear from someone who's going to speak and then we're still deciphering with no Bantu education. I bet. No, my lord. No, we want to hear from Mkhwanazi 2000 late. You know what I mean? We need to hear from 2000. And people like Abu Mkhwanazi need to be respected in the workplace. I know, like, sometimes us as younger people, the things that we do can come off as disrespectful to the older people. But we need to bridge that gap. We need to bridge that gap because we can see how it can work. Umasemola put his career in Mkhwanazi's hands. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Because if Mkhwanazi ubedile, it would have backfired. Who approved that press conference? He did. You allowed him to do that. Who approved him wearing that whatever that we're mad about? Imagine Abu Meritahas, they wrote emails, they wrote letters, they wrote WhatsApp, they sent Telegram, and not Telegram the app, Telegram, the old Telegram. You understand? The one that used to be.
Is there a coup happening in South Africa? Some of my friends are calling me from overseas. Why are people, police, defense minister, whatever, wearing camouflage? Is there a coup in South Africa? Paul O'Sullivan.
Yes, there is a coup. There's a coup because there's been a coup. The drug kingpins work for the police. So the junior police are now trying to remove the drug kingpins of their bosses. There's a coup happening. Mkhwanazi is acting as HR. He's saying, HR, our C-suite is corrupted. We need to get rid of our C-suite, our executive suite, or we need to get rid of our JSC people. You understand? People like Julius, they select judges. They should be really shocked at the allegations that they're hearing right now. Not playing the games that they're playing in Parliament, trying to fight with the MK and political point scoring. The subject is there. There's an evidence leader. There's a person who's supposed to answer questions. That's who your fight is with. That's what the public is invested in. We're not trying to see Julius come into Parliament and now badger everybody and try to bully people and try to do this. Please do that at Sisa Tukashe Stadium. Please. And I love that stadium. I love the fact that they've got the Dalimpofu rugby. The rugby week is like a craven week for Abotak. I've also gone to a couple of games at Sisa Tukashe Stadium. I think it's a very important stadium. Very important for the game of rugby, especially in the Eastern Cape. Especially the Buffalo region, you know what I mean? The border guys as well. They benefit from having facilities close by to their townships. I mean, if you're from Duncan Village in Tanzania, wherever, you know what I mean, all you know is Squastela. But if they had a proper rugby club that's there, they're at the pub on the weekends, the kids are there, the parents are there, everyone's watching, the kids are doing something that is positive. Maybe one day they'll be the next Siya Kolisi. That's the stadium where Julius decided he's going to fire a gun and make it famous for that incident. He got convicted for that. You've already got a criminal conviction. This is the perfect opportunity to show that the EFF has got a succession plan. You don't need to be front and center right now. Show us who else in the EFF can go there and ask the questions that the people want to be asked by the EFF. People have got an expectation. That however many 1.6 million votes, it has an expectation. Those 1.6 million voters have an expectation of you. They're not expecting you to go and fight 2.4 million votes of MK. They didn't send you there for that. They sent you there to hold the executive accountable. And you're failing at that because you want to hold everybody else accountable for their behavior instead of holding the executive accountable. And the executive is who's on trial. So I'm not happy with how they've been going about it. I hope the EFF can either put Lee Mathes or Veronica Mente or someone else, you know what I mean, even Sinao Tambo, I think maybe, after he's done with his apology tour to Kenny Kunene. maybe he can come in there and ask the right questions. The MK guys, Oskosana, and I forgot the other guy's name. I think they've been doing a good job. Darlene Jacobs of Action SA. No, lady. Lady, you are in Action SA, and also you're a colored woman. Represent colored interests. The Cape Flats are a war zone. Address that. One of the biggest colored icons in South Africa, was killed in something that is a political killing because he's a politically exposed person. As soon as you see Keenan Forbes on the screen on V Entertainment wearing ANC regalia, you see him at an ANC rally, you hear him rapping about, I think I'm Big Meech, Jacob Zuma. You understand what I'm saying? You hear him rapping about Umkhonto Wesizwe and all of these things. You know that this person is a politically exposed person. He's a politically exposed person. So therefore, if Mkwanazi is saying that the Political Killings Task Team also investigated the deaths of councillors, the deaths of city officials, the death of municipal officials, all these things, because these are connected to tenders, these are connected to something that has to do with politics, right? Then why is Keenan Forbes' murder also not included there? And it happened in KZN. I mean, with somebody, it's in Gauteng, so I understand why, right? And already there's controversy about, why now is the KZN team being sent up? It's because you're compromised there in Gauteng. You know what I mean? That's why Gauteng needs its own Political Killings Task Team, as Ms. Masimula suggested. So that input from Darlene Jacobs that brushed aside Keenan's murder, for me, is a disappointment because colored people are a minority group.
What did she say, Gandhi?
It doesn't matter. She didn't speak on behalf of colored people.
Oh, okay.
They are a minority group. AfriForum are a smaller minority group than... white Afrikaners are a smaller minority group than... They've got AfriForum. Colored people don't have anyone to speak for them from a civic organization. You know what I mean? They've got Patriotic Alliance, obviously.
They've got to that National Colored...
Fadil Adams.
Fadil Adams.
The one who's implicated in this whole entire thing.
Why is
as
he
well.
implicated?
And he's not even part of the ad hoc committee, but he's observing from the other side.
Yeah.
And yet he had confidential information that he was not supposed to have.
Sure.
Yes, classified information that he said landed on his desk by accident, by some miracle. Confidential information that Diane Collar-Barnard was able to access as well, because she's in the Standing Committee on Intelligence and State Security.
And what information was that? Did they divulge it?
Had to do with guns from the armory in the Western Cape being sold to gangsters.
Sure.
And which cops are implicated in that, and et cetera, and other investigations. You know.
Yeah. And this thing is a movie, innit?
It's a movie. It's a Nollywood movie.
It's a movie.
It's a Nollywood movie. I walk 10 kilometers each and every kilometers. Cut corner. It's a Nollywood movie. Uzo walk the whole 10 years with Nollywood. Mfana 10 kilometers okay, 10 minutes later. You understand what I'm saying? A movie.
And there are two.
Asilale ebusuku.
True.
Akulaleke ebusuku. How are you going to sleep? Because at 1 a.m. you're still on your screen. Your screen is bright. Ngo 3 you are papama. Damn it. You slept too late. Melu yochama. Ngo 3. Exen. After you finished in the toilet, you flush the toilet so vusabo makhelwane.
Breaking news.
Another one. Multi phone.
Keep up.
And you can't keep up. It's way too much. It's way too much.
My teacher me house car behavior.
Yeah.
Like at least he's able to summarize it for me.
He's able to summarize, but even him,
they're able to summarize it for me.
But even
because
them,
it gets too much, you know.
Even them, they're scared. What they're having to reveal is shocking.
No, but
so the way they're shaking,
but they're speaking about stuff that is in the public.
Yes, no, but the way they're revealing it, it's like when you were talking about Cyril's 3 ID numbers. Number 1, if I give you an ID number as my brother, Mr. Leope, and I say, I'm giving you a new ID number from now on.
Leopenkos. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Leopenkos, please. I'm giving you a new ID number. Your new ID number starts with 59. If your ID number started with 79 before, and I just changed it by 59, I'm doing that deliberately so that in case it's ever asked about, it's a typo. But can that typo ever happen?
Indoda ngeke ngithi ngizalwe ngo-79 bese ngizaliswa ngo-59. 20 years yonke.
Ngize ngithathe leyo ID ngiregister company ngayo.
I don't understand. Whose ID?
Cyril's.
Our president.
Yes.
I missed that episode.
Yeah. That was on the Madlanga Commission.
Is it?
That's the reason why the next witness had to do it in camera. So that witness did that, expose that stuff. Guti, Kat Matlala sent this stuff to one of these other guys.
Kat Matlala?
Yes, Kat sent the transcript of saying, hey, Cyril owns this company with this ID. He owns these companies with this ID, and then he owns these companies with this ID. Now I need you to delete these things from the mainframe.
Ha!
The mainframe, the main computer.
A country.
Undlunkulu wama computer. Imagine they could have deleted my ID as well. Cabanga back delete, back sninin, you can't get a death certificate because back the Home Affairs. Your mother can't get you a payout from Old Mutual because you need it. I'm just saying,
so are you
it's
saying,
possible.
Are you saying there's a rumor or there's potential our president has got 3 ID numbers?
No, it's not a rumor. It was already out. He was being blackmailed by the people that that hacking group that stole from TransUnion. So it was already hacked. When they got his credit record, they realized that, this man has 3 credit records. This man, they also released Julius's personal details, his ID number and everything else. When I take your ID number, I go to the biz portal on CIPC. I put in your ID number. I see all the companies that are registered under your ID number. I put in 3 different ID numbers. I see all the companies that are registered under all those ID numbers. The other ID number has got the last digits that are messed up, but also the first 6 are the correct digits, right? Again, the digits messed up. It ends with 08. Which man has an ID number that ends with 08? Because we know that my ID number ends with 87. Eyako?
081.
Yeah, but 81.
81.
Yes, not 08.
No, it ends with 81.
Yes, 81. You know what I mean? I know that some of the numbers are like for women. Women have a certain number. You know? So, yeah, you're 81. I'm 87. Yeah. My mother is 08. My mother is 8808. That's the last 4 digits of her. Yeah. All of a sudden, a man has an 08 on his ID number as the last 2 digits.
And this is our president.
Matamel. I'm serious. You need energy. You need to wake up ngemaltabela bafethu because you're gonna need energy. Ngaboma 6 down, 7 down, 8 down. No, ilaz khala khona. Phela in the beginning of the committee, now it's easy. Mazithi boma 6 down when they're going for the supper sessions. Ilag shisa khona ke manje. Yeah, ilaz khala khona serious because you can see that the parliamentarians can tell that no, people at home now, they're in front of their TVs, they've got YouTube on, parliamentary channel, Season Mpofu Welsh channel. You know what I mean? Whatever. They can watch. They see, Season Mpofu Welsh is doing MacG numbers every day. Imagine, he's doing MacG numbers every single day with 1/6 of the followers. Just that's how much South Africans want to know what's going on in this commission. There's 4 different channels that are streaming this commission. All of them have got more than 10,000 people watching at the same time. All of them. I skip. I love being in the comments and seeing what other people are saying in the comments because I'm watching alone when I'm watching on my phone. So I don't like to feel alone. You know what I mean? You don't want to go to the cinema and you're the only person watching the movie. It's an echo. No. So I watch. I watch in the last. You understand? Okay. You know what I mean? So that we comment, we see emojis. So I go from group to group and I see that le inabantaba so. Okay, the intellectuals, abanama PhD in you know what I mean? Abagu Season Mpofu Welsh, I can see them there. I avoid those ones because as bafundile bona. Tina sfundanga tina. So I'll go to the other channels that are, with guys that are of the same education level as me, you know what I mean? And then Tina, we tell jokes and stuff like, hey, Season Mpofu Welsh phela serious. And it's 12,000 of them. And bonke serious. I don't understand that. But that's his target market. He's got a different target market than the rest of the people on YouTube, I guess. The summaries that Mighty Jamie is doing as well. they are just scratching the surface. Because I think also he's shocked at how ridiculous it sounds when he has to say the things that are being revealed.
This Hoshkar behavior.
Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said this long time ago. I said this to you. I said this to you on the Hustlers Corner. I said, if they want to find out who's doing all the corruption, Edward Kiswetter, please go to the Slay Queens. Slay Queens. In fact, I even said, I think some of these Slay Queens might work for Kiswetter. Some of these Slay Queens...
Who's Kiswetter?
Kiswetter is the SARS commissioner.
Oh, the commissioner.
Yeah, because if I was SARS commissioner, I'd hire all the baddies. I'd hire all of them. So they know where you're spending your money. They know. I'd hire all the baddies. And it would be so cheap. I just give them a 50,000 monthly girlfriend allowance from SARS. You understand? From SARS. So it's not really a girlfriend allowance. You understand? So no, baby girl, just tell them that you are influencing. So kaya 50,000 yana uye ematlapini will even give you a little credit card. Now pop ama bodlela nyana magati 9 bodlela la eNiger wena uthi Mzansi girl 10 bodlelas. You understand? Kube champagne shower kancane and then let the competition start, and then we see from the transcripts tatama receipt wonke, okay ubano swipe la, okay let's investigate this account. Yeah, now umunye investigate this account. Yeah, ibuyaphi le mali phela? Ibuyaphi imali engaka etshwaleni? Ngispenda boma 500,000 etshwaleni. 500,000 etshwaleni. You know, for me it's very shocking that people are willing to spend 500,000 etshwaleni. I've never heard of someone lobolaring with 500,000. I've never heard of it. Even chiefs, I haven't heard of a chief that lobolared with 500,000. Just imagine that. Liquor is more important to you than growing a family and having a legacy. There must be something wrong. You must be a criminal. You must be a criminal. There's no way you can spend with such reckless abandon. There's no way. So that's why we need the Slay Queens to give us the information. We need the car dealerships to also give us the information. Spuda.
And the banks as well, right?
50,000 in my account for the first time in my life. The bank called me, said, Ibuya play 50,000. Ibuya play 50,000. Konama outer tenga, imotos a 5 meter. No one asks. No one asks. No one asks. Ni 50,000. Mangbuza ma question, mang sign sama form in bekmeleng pale. Pali form. And I had to get fill and sign. You know what I mean? Because I didn't have a printer. That form that they send you at the bank when they have to say you have to declare where the money comes from and everything else. For E50,000. E50,000. Why is it that Mina with a little 50,000, I need to explain to the bank? You know what I mean? I need to go to my sangoma. I need to tell him, hey, please, when I go to my bank manager, I need to say something nice. He needs to give me something to put under my tongue. You understand? Oh, phela imali yami phela ngiyayifuna. No, ngiyayifuna le mali phela. I-50,000 yami phela. Ngayikhalela leyo 50,000. Ngayikhalela leyo 50,000. So when I see these guys, Abo Morgan Mahumela, it's so ridiculous, the story, that my ears are falling off. You know? When I see Abo Morgan Mahumela spending all these ridiculous monies, I'm like, but what did I do? What did I do wrong? Like, when did I steal? Has someone at Pick and Pay caught me on CCTV camera, or someone that looks like me, because I've never done that, is stealing bread or something? Why? Mina, everything is under scrutiny, like just small things. Isn't you able to box 5 meter, 500,000? All of these things, smugele nje. Smangele. How? You know, like, how are we just witnessing all of this stuff? So, you know, those dealerships need to be investigated.
The banks too.
No, the dealerships especially. Yes, I understand the banks, but the banks are the reason why our rand is not at 7 and it's at 17 or 17.5 or 17.25. You understand? Lisija Khanyago just admitted that the rand is supposed to be at 7. Remember when I spoke to you about it, I said, I think that the fair value should be around 10, but around roughly that much. Okay, so I was pretty much close on. But we're not, our rand is devalued. Now, Goko, who gets medication, chronic medication, that we have to import. We're importing it for almost 3 times as much as we should be importing it. That's how much we're paying for Ukoko. Ukoko, who never had opportunities, who never got to have a pension. She's not on the GEPF. where people are worried whether their retirement age is going to be increased to 70 or whatever, and they can't early retire at 55 or whatever. All that, that GEPF, they even stopped the two-pot payments. Government Employees Pension Fund. Yeah, my mother's on that, Tina, we were raised by the state, like the Afrikaners. How is it that in the midst of all of this stuff, all of these commotions, we're not seeing that there was a story? There was supposed to be an investigation. There was supposed to be a commission of inquiries. These banks were supposed to be held accountable a long time ago for the rand manipulation. They did that. And we know that Helen Zille supports them. And she will never open up a case against them like she would open a case against any other Tom, Dick and Harry for anything else that's frivolous. She goes to the police station, opens a case as if she's the secretary at the DA. I mean, imagine. Why would the leader of the party be at the police station to open a case? Even Gayton McKenzie sent his little boy Liam Jacobs to go and open the case for him. You didn't see Imagine Gayton now inside the police station. It'll bring him bad memories. You know what I mean? He can't even certify a document there. Like, even me, like a police station, like I've even got trauma. I've never done anything criminal in my life, but just having a prison experience will give you trauma. You don't want to go to a police station. Helen Zille does that all the time. But why has she never gone to the police station for the banks that are stopping our grandmothers from being able to afford a nice retirement? We want our grandmothers to be able to afford a nice retirement, to not have to think to ourselves that we need to spend our money taking care of our grandparents who had no opportunities to build up the pensions, to build up inheritances, to build up private equity firms, to build up hedge funds, to build up RMB, to build up Capitec, to build up Nedbank, to build up everything. Trust Bank, Volkskas, everything. That's ABSA now. Everything that they built up for themselves. We have none of that. The one thing that we have, they sabotaged it. The politicians sabotaged it. VBS. You know what I mean? Let's not even talk about Itala. Let's not even talk about Itala. But Itala, who does it help? Helps lots of farmers. Where do the farmers get their Monsanto seeds from?
Bill Gates.
Bayer. What is Bayer?
Oh, Bayer, yeah. Le company
You understand what I'm saying? So what do they pay? They pay euros. Dollars. So if the dollar is supposed to be 7, which means the euro is supposed to be 8, 9, right? Or somewhere around there. The euro is 20 something. The pound is what? 24, 25. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you put it in the scale of your grandmother's chronic medication that needs to be imported, you understand that they're actually killing us. They're killing your grandmother. They don't want your grandmother to teach you the secrets, to teach you your culture, to spread the generational wealth. They don't want that to happen to you. They want you to grow up thinking of your grandmother as a photo. You don't have a memory of your grandmother. Yeah, that's my grandmother. Look at her. She's a nice picture. Yeah, that was back in whatever. They don't want you to have an 80-year-old grandmother, 90-year-old grandmother, 100-year-old grandmother who's got great-grandchildren that you can teach about a century ago. They don't want you to have that. They're killing us. They're killing our knowledge systems. They're killing our libraries with this rand manipulation. That's what it cost. Helen Zille doesn't care about that. She doesn't care about that. She's not going to open a case against them. So who's going to open a case against them? AfriForum is not going to open a case against them. AfriForum is busy trying to make sure that any black person from South Africa doesn't go to America to go and hlugumeza the Amerikaners. Z 59 or whatever. They want to make sure. But this guy is going to have a visa and he's going to come here as a slugumez with civil rights. He's going to tell us about Martin Luther King. You understand what I'm saying? He's going to tell us he has a dream. So, in this current juncture that we're in, like the entire GNU is implicated in keeping South Africa in this point of misery. The entire GNU. DA is just as guilty. If they're not going to fight for the banks that are manipulating the currency to the point where the rand should be at 7. And you know these things. You study these things. You got the Monetary Policy Committee. You know what I mean? So you've known all these things. Why are you only saying it now? It's too many years late. It's too many years late. And we don't even care about it, actually. You know what I mean? The whole entire situation, we don't even care about this thing because we're busy with the Madlanga Commission. We've also got the ADHOC committee. We're trying to balance both, which is the better devil out of all these devils. We're in hell, literally. everything we look at is a devil. Everything we look at, everything's got a small anyana skeleton, and even that small anyana skeleton has got a small anyana skeleton. Like it's like what are those things? Those Russian dolls. It's like you open one, there's another one. You open another one, another one. It's infinite. So coming back to the point about the parties just not delivering within Parliament. The GNU parties are not delivering. We're not hearing anything from UDM. We know that the military is implicated. Where is General Holomisa? General Holomisa is as a deputy minister, so he can't speak the way he should be speaking, but they're implicated. And then we've got Ma Angie. Anytime someone argues with me and they misread what I'm saying and they can't read for comprehension, I think of Ma Angie. You know why? Because I was matriculated under Mam Naledi Pandor. Someone who made us strive for excellence. You know why? Just her demeanor. Mam Naledi Pandor made you want to be educated. You'd be like, I want to be eloquent like that lady. That lady is in charge of our schools. I want to ensure that I can present myself, I can progress in life. You know what I mean? That's who I finished my matric under. These ones that are under Mam Angie, they can't read for comprehension. May Angie, when I find you, when I find you, I'm going to pull the crypt notes out of your poloma. Pull all the crypt notes out of your poloma and help these kids with papas. Maybe. Because that's the only hope they have. Because they can't read for understanding. They need crypt notes. They need to cheat in the exams. I don't know what they need to do. They need IMOS to save them. Uzulu IMOS utheni. Utheni zopasa ningafundanga. Intwana yasekasi lakho phela. Uthini? Intwana enizasethembisa. Usithembisa ukuthi uzosipasisa singaqheleza. And they were so happy. They were happier than the time they stopped the electricity price from increasing. I know ngiyacala ngethembisa hayi. Angicwele ngani. Ngicwele ngani thembisa hayi no. No, thembisa like no, you guys did it. And you guys are more crazy about thembisa. They've got English bundles. You see, there was this other guy, this journalist from ANC. He came to Makriza, Mulato King. Makriza, well, the compendium that we're deliberating over is the conundrum of the levies we're being charged on top of our electricity usage bills. You understand what I'm saying? And then I thought to myself, remember that old Erkur Lenime that you had from the DA? That one, I forgot what the name was. Imagine, that was your mayor. There's no way that mayor can speak at the level of Umakriz. Umakriz, you can see that this one is a retired principal. This one, her kids go to the not Tembisa Clinic, the one opposite Tembisa Clinic. What is it called?
You mean what?
There's a opposite Tembisa Clinic. There's a private.
You mean Elenmed?
You understand? They go to
Tembisa Hospital.
Tembisa. Sorry. I keep saying clinic. No. I keep saying clinic because it looks like it's a clinic. It doesn't look like it's a hospital. It doesn't look like it's something serious.
I was born there, my man.
Yeah, hide.
Anyway,
are your files still there?
Yeah, they are. Well, I would like to think they are.
But she see the pela.
I know, but I'd like to think this.
You understand what I'm saying? Your medical records, all those things that you need, your yellow card. If you need to make another yellow card, where you're going to get it from, where they're going to get your original records, whether you immunized at your first step, you know what I mean? We need to know at 36 months, how tall was little baby Liopenkos. You understand? So those are the things that we need in our communities, and we're being denied them because we are fighting all these corruption fires. We're fighting so many fires at the same time that we're in a headspin. And my fear is that we're going to pass out from smoke inhalation. Not that we're going to get burnt. That's the smoke inhalation. There's too much smoke. We inhale the smoke, we pass out, and then we just burn in our sleep. We burn while we sleep. The country burns while we're sleeping. While we're sleeping. And those that wake up to ashes. And it seems like the people that are ruling us right now, the politicians, that's what they want.
They're burning it down.
Umkhanazi said this country will burn. Sibia said this country will burn.
Shouldn't it just get burned down for it to start again?
Look, man, I'm willing to take that pain. I'm not sure many other South Africans are, though. And I'm in a position where that pain can be alleviated. Most South Africans are not. So I cannot wish that. Mina, I'm in too privileged a position. Not to say that Mina, I'm whatever. No, I'm just saying in my position, that's how bad things are. That's how bad things are in South Africa. Even if you get 5,000 a month, you're in a privileged position. Do you understand that? Out of people that earn an income, if you earn over 5,000, you're in a privileged position. You know what I mean? Yes, you're in the middle class in terms of average. You know what I mean? The median income is being 4,700. Even less than that 5,000 that I was talking about. So, I don't know. I hope for a miracle, actually. I want to pray. I think that we should pray. I think that we should give it to God. I think that we need to be in deep prayer right now for our country, because we're going to need cleansed spirits to help us once we emerge from this hellfire that we're burning in right now. And yeah, I don't know if there's any more that I can say that I need to say. I don't know if there's any. Oh, Ashley Souls from Patriotic Alliance. That's also another one that misrepresented our colored minority in this country. And I don't think that he asked the correct questions that needed to be asked of him. I hope that as this whole entire thing continues, he'll ask those questions. And I can't wait for a showdown between Begicele and Ian Cameron. You know Begicele is in this week. Yeah.
So it's second round now.
Yeah.
You remember?
Shut up!
That was 2 years ago.
Shut up!
2 or 3 years ago, no?
Shut up!
When Begicele was voving Cameron back then. But now Cameron is in parliament.
Can't get him to shut up now. And he has to answer those questions. He needs to answer those very damning questions.
And not call us a manunu.
Eish. And he just made it worse for himself. Even worse. You see, that word's hurt me. I'm like, if my mother hears that, see, yo. You know, Fusek is from KZN. Tina, we say Futsek. KZN, but Fusek. Yes, Mkwanas. But why did they make it R&B? Yes. They want this to be on Eddie Zondi vibes.
NOTA Mondays. We'll see you next week, 8/27. Thank you.
And after that one, we've got Monewa.
I missed you, man. Good to see you.
Glad to be back. Please rewatch that Mbuso Koza episode.
That was a dope episode.
It was a masterclass. I learned a lot. You know what I mean? And to all my ex-followers, okay, I understand the Shaga Ilembe soundtrack now. You understand? Because I didn't understand. Manje, why are we not hearing Maskandi?
He broke it down.
Yeah, he broke it down. Now, okay, it was me that was ignorant. I didn't know that. No, Amahubo, that traditional songs. Maskandi is not traditional music. It's contemporary music, you know. And yeah, that's that. Our favorite artist is a Maskandi artist, you know, of all time. The greatest artist of South African music ever is a Maskandi artist.
Yep.
You know, even if you listen to his songs that are done in the reggae tunes, they are Maskandi sang, you know.
Yeah.
The way he sings it is Maskandi. So we got lots of respect for Maskandi. But 31 is December. When we ngamulu this year it's going to be Lukompo. I'm sorry.
You think it's Lukompo this year?
I'm sorry. I've been calling it.
You think it's Lukompo this year?
And that song by Jazzworks, Moya. It's 3-step, but Makazi brought a Lukompo feel to it. She even sings in Siped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, Makazi was taught to sing by my ex-wife.
I don't know.
In my studio, in my lounge, taught to sing, like sing properly, record, and everything else. You know what I mean? She's done a lot of work on herself. She's gotten vocal coaching and everything else since then, because that's how determined she was. You know what I mean? So I know that she's someone who's worked on her performance craft. The way she sounds there with Jazzworks and Tugutela on that song. Moya, Moya, Moya. That's what we need right now.
Talented, man.
We need umoya. You know what I mean? That can just cleanse our souls and our spirits. And we need umoya to also speak to more of these intelligence officials and former Hawks bosses. I saw on Moya with Sisintigi Mazwai. She spoke to one of these big bosses, and there were also big bombs that were
which episode is that?
There. She just dropped it like 2 weeks ago. But just check on the Moya. I forgot the name, but he was someone who was a former general of the Hawks. You know what I mean? So these guys have been coming out. You know what I mean? Lenda Bagatefo interfering in this Kumalo case. I don't know what that whole Michigos was about, but guys, let's choose our chosen spokespeople. We know the biases that our countries have. Ne? Make sure that you find a credible spokesperson who's got the English bundles, right? So that we can get the message across. But you, with your English bundles, don't think you're better than us. Otherwise.
She had, let me see. No, this is Remembering Thomas Sankara is just recent. Oh, she had the time. Hold on, let me see. I just want to mention the name, so... Mr. Steve Lebelo.
You know, what we have been doing since we started this series.
Yeah, that's Steve Lebelo, right?
Yeah.
Black Wednesdays.
Yes.
On Moya. With Usisintiki Mazwai. Nice one.
Yeah, but other than that, Moya...
she also had Ukoko ne Oprimashik.
She's done a lot. She even did
nice. Oh, she also had time. This is so nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Beautiful. Oh, she also had Menzi Kamasego.
Bella, you know that Abontsiki, they come from,
a
media family. So obviously.
That's why Tandiswa's lyrics are so deep.
Yeah.
She's conscious.
Yeah.
Because they come from that family.
Yeah.
They were Khabuliswat properly.
The whole entire industry sounds like Tandiswa. Every girl that sings right now sounds like Tandiswa of Bongo Muffin, or even before that. You know what I mean? Or did she sing on Jackknife or something?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, the whole entire music industry sounds like Tandiswa of Bongo Muffin or Jackknife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she's very influential. That family is very influential. They are part of the anti-apartheid struggle, the PAC. So Usisi will obviously have people within her circle and her family's circle that are, premier level guests, and she must take advantage of that. I'm loving the work that she's doing. She's teaching us a lot, and yeah, she even took me for a hike the other day at what is this place? At Kibla Park. I don't know, there's some south. Went on a hike a couple kilometers. Had a chat. That was very good and refreshing, and I'm glad to see that her platform is also performing well. All the platforms are performing well. Apologies to all of the people that have been expecting NOTA Monday's episodes.
Yeah, we're back. Now we're back.
We're back now.
We're back. We'll be cruising in 2026, but now we are getting ready for our relaunch in 2026. We're back, guys. Nice one. Good to have you back, Nota. Cheers, guys. Have a good weekend. Have a great week, actually. It's a Monday.
And don't
Enjoy
forget.
the rest of your week. Sure. Take off. Thank you.